My name is Brian Eichel. I'm the Executive Director at the Saskatchewan Aviation Museum. I get to work with a lot of people and kind of do the overview, the big picture of what happens in the museum. What inspired me to work in the aviation industry? Good question. When I was a young guy, I might have been 5 years old, I got an opportunity to fly with my father, who was also in the aviation industry. He was a commercial pilot as I was growing up. So I got to ride on his lap when he was being a pilot. He actually let me fly it. Well, I thought I was flying it. I wasn't really flying the airplane, of course. But he got me to try it, and I really enjoyed the experience. I loved the feeling of airplanes taking off and landing. I got to do that lots as a child, and as I was growing up, just being around airplanes. It's a passion that got in my blood. I can tell you that when I was a little kid in Buffalo Narrows, I remember hearing, and this was in the 1960s, I remember hearing pilots talking about that particular aircraft going missing. And they were always being very, very careful talking about things that could kill them, right? So they always wondered how that airplane disappeared. And I remember hearing about that and how a couple of people lost their lives or they were missing. They never came home. And so having that memory and then never really knowing. So people in the Saskatchewan Aviation Museum got together with some people in Michelle Village, and after they had some other people, family members, had located the plane, and they decided that they were going to raise the airplane up off the bottom of the lake. And it's kind of a sad moment too, because the people that lost their lives were recovered as well. And so there was closure for some of the family members. So they brought parts of the airplane back to the museum, and then they decided certain parts couldn't be used because it was a fairly high-speed descent into the water when they crashed, so they weren't usable. So what the museum did was we built a replica. I wasn't here when that was done, so that's why I say it was the museum that did it. There were some very dedicated people that made that happen, and it's quite a celebrated story here.